Hi, welcome back. This is the second section of the Bunker Hill Billies show, and we're going to pick up where we left off. And Steve just told me that the song you heard just now and at the beginning of every show for Charlestown and beyond, he is performing in it. Let's go into that.
Well, we had a group of alumni that got together in April, and I believe that was just the instrumental. I think that was us. So
sounds as good as ever.
Yeah, I mean, when we get together, like the expertise of some of the musicians that Bob brought out in everybody just really shines. And you a lot of the guys that do it, you can't teach certain things. You can't teach a certain feel for music.
Yeah.
And none of them read music, to my knowledge. It's more just a feel for the music. And the guys in my years, like Kevin Kelly, Bernie Kelly, Jimmy Sullivan. Jimmy's an excellent pianist and puts me to shame. And he plays the xylophone. He used to play the xylophone during the group.
Wow.
Kevin and his cousin Bernie were great banjoists.
Yeah.
And the three of us together were like St. Mary's, we were bosom buddies.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
So, I mean, you did other things. Everybody was involved in a sport or some other activity. But with that core group, when you joined the Bunker Hill Billies, you couldn't wait to get there.
Yeah.
You couldn't wait to get there. You couldn't wait to get up to practice. You couldn't wait to get up to perform.
And it shows now that you're still together this many years later, and you still kept the talent.
Yeah, the alumni, I want to give a shout out, I guess, to Timmy Walsh, because in the mid-'80s, he got the bug that said, you know, we never thanked Bob. And he started to find all the alumni. And I think it was 85 or 86, we put 40 guys on a float and went in the Bunker Hill Day Parade with Bob in front of us and his wife. And
I'm so glad that
it was,
happened. Yeah.
It was, you know, it was a magical day because it was like Elvis came back to the town as he's going through the town in his uniform, and people are running up to the car shaking his hand.
I bet.
And they couldn't believe what we were doing. We were playing all the music. We put a generator on there. We had some keyboard going, and then followed it up a few years later in '91 on the 50th anniversary, and Bob actually performed with us. He was in his 80s.
Wow.
And he got up on the float, and he performed all the music with us. So that was his that, and they made him, I think he got a lifetime member at the Boys Club. And another thing for him, Charlie McGonigal was very key in that.
Wonderful.
And he got him going, got the element going, and again, he performed with us. So we got performing with him a couple more times.
That's wonderful.
It was a blast. And when I saw the reunion and I saw the way the kids reacted, I kind of felt bad that I said that this was dying out. And I went up to the club and I said, look, I'm working in Boston, I've got some time in my hands. Is there anything available that, you know, I can play the keyboard, I can play the banjo. I was a former teacher at that point. And I said, could I take my hand and try doing it? And sure enough, they had a grant that was sitting there that was unused for music, and we were able to purchase some instruments and get the band going again. We put out the call, and I was getting sons, and this time I was getting daughters.
Fantastic.
Because at that point, the Boys and Girls Club had merged, and you had to get boys and girls. So I did that for about 3 years. The day I started it up, one of the guys that was in my group showed up at the door. It was Barry Baker. And he showed up at the door with a handmade tub drum and a handmade racket squad. And he said, can I help you? So the two of us together, and he helped us a lot, you know, with the percussion, because he was a drummer and he knew what he was doing. And the kids just came to it. They flocked back to it just like it never left.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
And the only TV spot I think we got back then, because all the kids' shows had ended, we got a spot with Joyce Haywick.
Nice.
We performed in front of the Constitution, and Joyce came down, and she didn't actually come down. You know how television works.
Yes.
They send the reporter around and it makes it look like she's there. And then those kids, that's on film, and those kids have it forever.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And they loved it. And what it brought out in children, I think there's an element in a child that says, I want to be a ham. And you see it in your children.
Yeah,
You grab the microphone and you sing. Well, you're singing in front of sometimes 1,500 people, and we did. I mean, a lot of times we were in Boston at United Way campaigns, New England Life Hall, John Hancock.
Wonderful.
It was a blast.
Let's get into some of the photos.
Sure.
I know you were kind enough to send them, and my brother Buddy sent 2 or 3 of them too. If we can get some of the photos, David, can you show up some of the photos? Oh, here we go.
Okay, this is, I mentioned we did a reunion, and in 2009, with the help of the Charlestown Historical Society, we had a reunion at the Knights of Columbus. And the money raised went to making a display.
That's wonderful.
Now, in the display, on the lower left, you'll see the tub drum. In the middle is the percussion section, which was the washboard that you could, when that rat-a-tat-tat you hear in a lot of the background music, that's the washboard. And there's a cymbal on it, and there's horns, and the songs were tailored to that instrument.
Wow.
The bottom, at the red box on the bottom, that's the kazoo box.
Oh.
So if you were tabbed as a singer,
Yeah.
your secondary responsibility was to play the kazoo. So we'd sing a song, we'd sing a verse of a song, you'd play the kazoo for a verse, and then you sing the song again. I think that's a uniform shirt that's on the bottom. And there's the top left is the Nixon picture, but I think we have a better close-up of that.
Yeah. That's
the
great.
banners.
Now my brother was so talented. He played the spoons, to the dismay of my mother, because there wasn't a spoon in the house that wasn't flattened on the bottom. So, but he was good at it to this day. Oh, here we go. Here's President Nixon.
Yeah, in December of 1969, Bob at a practice, I can still remember it like it was yesterday. We got the main group was 25 kids, but his subgroup was called the Ranch House 7, that he would take on smaller venues. And most of our shows were, I mean, luckily he got us on TV in Boston, but a lot of our shows were for elderly, and they were nursing homes and hospitals and going into VA hospitals for the vets. And this particular photo showed up. Do you remember the Record American? Obviously you do.
Sure, yeah.
It's now the Herald, I think,
Yeah.
right? The center photo in the Record American, the day after, was this photo.
Isn't that
And I think the
wonderful?
caption was Hub Boys Swing with the President, or
Oh,
something
of course,
like
Hub
that.
Boys, not Charlestown Boys, yeah.
It was a boys club convention dinner, and they picked us up at I forget the hotel, maybe it was the Statler or something, in limos,
Oh,
brought
here's
us to the
Bob.
White House, and it's Bob Munster with Alex. Up on the upper left is his marionette puppets. Now, I believe his daughter, and I think they were going to watch or follow it up on YouTube. One of his daughters still does the Punch and Judy and the marionettes.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful.
And his son Peter, now Bob lived in Needham because he could get some rest from kids. If he lived in Charlestown, we never would have left him alone. He married
Can you go
a
back to
woman-
the previous picture? There we go. What's this?
This is the Ranch House 7.
Oh, okay.
I'm second from the left there on the banjo.
Oh, okay.
Second from the right, excuse me. I think on the left is Billy Lynch. Going left to right, then Jimmy Millar. The gentleman behind the racket squad was Bobby Parisi. I think Timmy Walsh is up on the door behind me.
Oh, okay.
And the guy that's hidden might be Johnny Kevel, but I'm not sure.
Oh, wow.
And Billy Ryan is the one far right with the banjo. So that was one of the first Ranch House 7 groups. And I think that was in front of the Boys Club as a picture.
Oh, God. Now, I have a nephew, John Scannell, that was a member, and a nephew on the Giordano side, Michael Giordano, that was a member.
Yeah, I
also.
remember that name I remember.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
Okay, what's this?
this I think is, I want to say 50s or early 60s, and to me it looks like Pleasure Island.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And if you notice in the lower right, Bob is playing a portable piano.
That's portable.
A lot of times he would play the accordion
Yeah, I
as
remember that,
the accompaniment. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Oh, what do we got here?
I'm not sure of the year, but it was before me, and I think probably late 50s, early 60s. It's aboard the USS Boston.
Oh, that is great. We have 3 minutes left. Okay. Oh,
This
look
one's
at this.
going way back.
Oh,
Look how
yeah.
young Bob looks.
And look at the outfits.
Yeah, the outfits changed to the standard hillbilly uniform in the 50s.
Now, that's not a girl in the middle with the...
No, that's
golden.
actually, I think these were called, Bob had a skit group
Yeah.
called the Bunker Hill Jacks, too.
Oh, wow.
And they played music, and I'm guessing that this was a World War II veteran.
Yeah.
That he knew, or it's just one of the visits that they made to the hospitals.
That's wonderful.
So, and you can see the smile on his face, you know, on Bob's face.
Oh, look at the gun. I just noticed the
Yep.
gun next to the girlie. Yeah.
I mean, in the 40s and the 50s, all you had to do was say Western, and kids just loved it.
Do we have any more photos?
I think he went through most of them.
Okay.
Now that display case, oh
Yes.
no, this is a great one. This
That's
is at
Major Mudd?
Yeah, it's Major Mudd. That's actually not on Major Mudd's show, but he came to the Boys Club.
Wonderful.
And every year we had a show called the Heyday, where we'd sell tickets for 25 cents, and that whole game room at the Boys Club would fill up with seats. And the Bunker Hillbillies would perform, and the Junior Wranglers, who was the farm team, would perform. And then
Look at
we'd
the
have a
boys.
guest. We'd have a
The boys
guest.
are having a wonderful time. Look
Look
at
at
them.
them,
Look
they're
at them
laughing,
laughing and everything. Well,
He was a genuine.
crazy man.
He was crazy, but
He was funny.
you know, you looked at those celebrities at that time,
Yes.
and Major Mudd really liked kids.
Yeah.
He really did. There was a genuineness about him that even I felt, and I was a young kid. So that was Channel 7, but he came to the club and
That's
performed.
great. That is
And
really good.
rumor has it Bob wrote his theme song, the "I'll Be Blasting You."
Wow.
So
Oh, wow. Oh, well, this has been great. And, you know, I apologize that we had to, because of time, do it in 2 parts.
that's fine.
But it will be a whole show when
It's put together,
it's
sure.
put together. It'll be fine. But can I ask you, would you come back in the spring?
If we got more to talk about, sure.
Well,
Actually, I can dig up now. In 2009, the Historical Society, and I found it, put together a DVD
Oh, nice.
that has some live shots of the group in the 50s, and it has music behind it that you can hear. So we can spice it up a little bit. I'll get you something ahead of time.
Great, great. Yeah, we'll have time to work on it now.
Yeah.
And maybe you can bring back some of the alumnus to play for us?
It's possible.
We'll try that. We'll
It's
get time to
possible.
work on that.
It's possible.
Because I apologize to everyone that tuned in, and it just got a little crazy, but we will, you will see the show in its entirety, and I'm going to twist this young man's, young to me, his arm to come back in the spring. So, and do you have a Facebook page or something?
There is a Bunker Hillbilly Facebook page.
And what is that?
It's Bunker Hillbillies.
Bunker
Just do a search.
Billies. All right, great.
There is a few hillbillies that are out there performing in rock bands today.
Wow.
Jimmy Honahan is a close friend of mine. He plays in a group called Perfect Crime. They play up on the North Shore. Larry Smith plays down at Toby Keats down in Foxborough in a group called 36 Red. 30 Red 6. It's one of those.
Wow.
And I'm playing on the North Shore with Ripcord.
Good for you.
So we keep it, the music, it brought out the music, you never knew it.
Yeah.
And you just keep playing.
Good for you.
Keeps me young.
You look like a kid. We grew up across the street from each other on Quarter Street in Charlestown.
I was in a house a lot.
Yeah, which
Good.
was wonderful. My mother loved to have the kids coming and going. It was great. How much time do we have now on this? Do you know? We got to wrap it up, as I thought.
Okay, wrap it up.
Steve, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
This was so enjoyable, and you have to come back in the spring, and we'll pick up from here. Okay?
We'll get Kevin on. I'll twist this.
Yes, let's get Kevin Kelly on.
Okay.
So with that, thanks for tuning in, and totally enjoyable. This part of Charlestown from, well, started over 50 years ago, right? And
Well,
right up
it's-
until the late 80s when you had it. So great, great memories. So thank you again, Steve. And until next time, I'm Kathy Giordano, and good night, and remember, take care of one another. Bye-bye.